Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Monday Morning Digest. I'm your host, Godfrey, Gichuki, and this is your exciting Monday morning show. And I'm blessed that we have yet another new week. Today is the 18th of March, 2024. And I hope that you're having a great time, and I hope that the month is going well for you and the year for that matter. So welcome to the show. Today we're going to be having an interesting conversation. I have some special guests with me on the set, and so I welcome you to join us in this amazing conversation. Please remember to share the links with your friends. We are live, of course, on Elevate TV Kenya, Facebook and YouTube channels, and you have numbers on your screen. If you're watching on TV, you have a number on the screen that you can use to send us a text. Don't call, but just send us a text. If you have some comments or questions you have, then we can interact with that. We can try and answer that. So welcome to the show, and let me introduce my guest to us. Today we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence and whether this is friend or enemy. Some of you have heard about artificial intelligence or AI, and I understand that now AI can do a sermon for your pastor, for your bishop. So, and young people are very much awake these days. So if you do a sermon using your AI, link, the young people are going to tell. They'll just go and search your sermon and they'll find it. They will find all the scriptures you read in the order you read them, and they will know that it is that thing called AI that did your sermon. So beware. And I have on the set some two people that are going to help me in this discussion. We're going to talk about AI. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? But before we get to the conversation, let's start with introductions. So my far left, my friend Ayub, please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. Yes, and welcome our viewers to the show.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. My name is Robert Ayub. I'm the co-founder of CTI Kids Campus. I've got 2 undergraduate degrees. I've got one in Computing and Information Systems from London Metropolitan University. I've also done Maths and Physics undergraduate from Jomo Kenyatta University. And I'm a sitting student at University of Nairobi doing law.
Okay.
In practice, I am a practicing data scientist, and with my practice as a data scientist, I think it's going to be an engaging discussion. I'm looking forward to the questions from the viewers, questions from the panelists, and discussion. So it's going to be exciting.
Amazing man. You know, double degree. So these are some of the very exciting to have you on the show. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Very good. Melody, introduce yourself. You know, people know you as the smiling Melody, but now tell us what you do.
Okay, so good morning everyone. My name is Melody Malusi. I am a cybersecurity prevent engineer. Yes, mostly in cybersecurity and also a data protection consultant.
Wonderful. Yeah, cybersecurity prevent engineer.
Yeah.
So I like the prevent bit. So Malusi here is the one who prevents you guys from hacking systems, you know, for, I think you need to let people know you have a full-time job, although you won't reveal your employer. But you have a full-time job, and your role is actually to prevent these, you know, very crafty hackers
yes.
From trying to get through to your, you know, your employer's, you know, space. And that's amazing. That's amazing. So let's now dive into the conversation about artificial intelligence. And I think we want to start first of all by mapping up the territory. What is artificial intelligence? Where are we on that? The history behind it, and we can start with Ayub. You are the data scientist. I know Melody is also, you also have very advanced. You have a degree in.
BBIT, Bachelor of Business Information
Okay,
Technology.
BBIT, Bachelor of Business and Information Technology. All right, so let's start with you, Robert.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Before we get to the definition of artificial intelligence, I would like us to just split those two words into two.
All right.
Yeah, there is artificial bit and there is intelligence bit.
Okay.
So if you ask me what is artificial, in summary and in simple language, it is something made by man.
Okay.
That is artificial, be it a car, a house, anything that was made by man. And the flip side of it, there is something natural. We found it, the grass, nobody made it.
Right.
The cows, we found them, the animals, the trees, nobody made them. But because of the seed, we can reproduce.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is artificial and natural. Now when it comes to intelligence, the way I can summarize this is I like to use kids.
Right.
Because that is the starting of reproduction, and God told us that we have to multiply.
Right.
And when God created man, Psalms 139:14,
Yes.
I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes.
Yeah, and therefore I thank you. So that is going to be the base of my understanding and explanation to artificial intelligence.
Okay.
When you look at kids when they're born, they do one thing,
Yes.
to know that they're alive. When they're spanked by the doctor, they cry.
Right.
You ask yourself, why did they smile? They've never been spanked before.
Yes.
There is some pain they're feeling. That aside, when you look at a kid, there is no single kid who was taught how to crawl.
Okay.
Were you taught how to crawl?
No.
So you can imagine even the president was never taught how to crawl. So inherently, we have some natural intelligence
Okay.
created by vision. So they see you, they want to do something like you. And there is a component in artificial intelligence called reinforcement learning.
Okay.
So when you learn by your environment,
Yes.
it's nothing new. Like it's like Melody before the show started.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. Artificial intelligence started a while back. But in summary, now I come to the definition.
Yeah.
We are trying, for some reason that we are going to discuss in this meeting,
Yeah.
we are trying to copy how humans operate. Because of Psalms 139:14, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. There's a way our brain works
Yes.
that scientists want to borrow
Okay.
for two main reasons.
Right.
We are fearfully and wonderfully made, but we have certain limitation. And I'm
Okay.
going to illustrate that.
Yes.
What is 1 plus 1?
It's 2.
It's 2.
Yes.
1024 by 56?
I can't quite
Yes.
work out that quickly.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
speed
Yes.
and accuracy,
Yes.
we have that limitation.
Yes.
But if you get a calculator, it's a gadget.
Yes.
That is the beginning of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
So you ask it in less than a minute, it gives an answer.
Yeah, yeah.
And the second reason is accuracy.
Yes.
You might predict that it's going to rain, or as a human being, the rainmakers, but you might not be accurate.
Yes.
And when you look at every single day decisions we make,
Yeah.
those are the most important things to businesses
Yes.
and even to us as individuals. How fast can you make a decision and how accurate can it be?
Okay.
So that is the basis of artificial intelligence.
Wow. I like the way you've simplified it. Yeah. Because clearly, I think when we think about artificial intelligence, we kind of like think this is something that is so new. But you're saying even the good old calculator, there is a famous one, FX82. Is it FX82?
Yes.
Each high school and campus kid
Yes.
had an FX82. That's the beginning one, the de facto scientific calculator. And I mean, you could give that thing any data input. It can do, what do you call it? All kinds of maneuvers, right?
Yeah,
It can calculate for you for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so we're saying it is artificial intelligence to the extent that it's doing some, kind of it's calculating stuff at a very fast speed, beyond what a human brain can manage, you know, in terms of speed.
Absolutely.
So something like that. Of course, I think people say since the calculator was made by a human being, then the human being is still superior.
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. Melody, so artificial intelligence, beyond what Robert Ayub is describing, what do you understand by artificial intelligence, especially in your space, in terms of you know, your cybersecurity speciality? Yeah, just tell us what you think about artificial intelligence.
Okay, so artificial intelligence, I like the way Robert has explained, and also we can also say artificial intelligence is making computers do what humans can do,
Right.
but at a faster rate and at a more precise rate.
Okay.
And then in the cybersecurity space, artificial intelligence has been used greatly in, okay, because you know, with artificial intelligence, you're feeding it data so that the model can be able to know how to react and what to do. So for instance, when we have malicious activities being done on the assets, on the company's assets, let's say on the websites, artificial intelligence has been used, so it collects data and knows, you know, there are different types of attacks in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So with artificial intelligence, you're able to know which type of attack and how to mitigate it.
Okay.
So, and which doesn't need any human intervention, because humans, you know, we can be slow, you can be held up with a certain thing that makes you not resolve quickly or remediate this issue. So with artificial intelligence, it is fast, it is, it also helps with reporting. It has honestly shaped cybersecurity, but again, hackers are also using this same artificial intelligence
Right.
to also hack by using bots, by using, so it's just,
A
you just have to
double-edged
be,
sword.
yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yes, you just don't need. Now we are getting very technical. There's something called a bot. BOT, right?
Yes, BOT.
Yeah, BOT. But that being called bot, a lot of people don't understand what it is. So please tell us what it is, a bot.
A bot is an automated task.
Okay.
So by an automated task, I mean I can write, let's say, a piece of code that sends login. You know how to log in?
Yes.
That sends several login requests to our website.
Yes.
So those are like bots.
Okay.
It's just an automated task.
Okay.
Yes. A computerized automated task. It's not a jargon. Shouldn't be a jargon.
No. You know, please, you know. That's what we are talking about here. You know, things called bots, things called you know, crawlers and stuff like that. So amazing, yeah. So what you're saying is that in the computer space, especially, and I like keeping the language simple for those that perhaps have not interacted with these technologies and all that. So where you have somebody writes a code, a program, a computer program. Those who are not familiar with the programming is the new science. So if you don't know how to program, you are left behind.
They need to catch up.
It's like not knowing how to speak English.
The former president actually was launched coding in schools.
Okay.
Within curriculum in
Talk
Kenya.
about that. Yeah, talk about that.
You see, the advancement of AI, you should look at the policies being embraced by the government. You should look at what our neighboring countries and international space is doing. And then you will realize that this is like what we are discussing just before the show.
Yeah.
It is inevitable.
Right.
So it is something either as a business or as a parent or as a student, you cannot ignore, because while again, God gave us the power to choose.
Yes.
When Adam and Eve were in the garden.
Yes.
They were given options to choose, and they made some choices, and choices have consequences. You know.
Yes. Yes.
So that is exactly how we live our daily life.
Right.
Choices have consequences. So when you look at all these policies that are being embraced, and the discussion is going towards a certain direction, I think you cannot ignore it.
Okay.
You need to understand it. So the former president actually launched integration of coding to schools.
Okay.
So there are kids as young as grade 6 learning how to code.
Okay. Okay, wow, wonderful. So that then the whole idea, the language of coding is no longer a strange language.
No, it's
You know, you want to bring this kind of way of thinking into the common, way of life.
Yeah.
That there's such a thing as a code, a small miniature program,
Yeah.
which is designed in such a way that it can do something, right?
Yeah.
But then, of course, not on its own. It has to be attached to a computer system. Amazing, amazing. So those of you that are following this conversation, we are talking about artificial intelligence, and we want to understand this space. Some of you, when you hear AI, you're so scared. So today we're going to try and break this down for us and help you understand that this is not something strange. It is not something out of reach for the average person. You can actually get in to interact with AI. So now let's get a little bit more technical. Robert, don't hesitate to bring in all the complex stuff. So where are we with AI right now? What can artificial intelligence do? That you need to let our people know, the general public, and even people who interact with technology all the time. What can it do with my phone? Can it lock my phone? Can it steal my phone? I find it missing.
I think the way I would like to answer that question is rephrase it.
Yes.
I rephrase the question,
Yes.
if you allow me.
Yeah.
What can't AI do? Because AI is literally in every industry.
Okay.
So if I say what AI can do, it's going to be limited by my thinking, what
Okay.
I know. Because there are definitely so many other things AI can do
Okay.
that I might not be aware. But at the top of it, AI is changing industries to make decisions faster and move faster, to launch new and better products. AI is helping even students learn a wide variety of domain. When we live life is interconnected.
Right.
So if you're a student doing computer science,
Yeah.
or if you're a student doing law, let me use law because I'm a law student.
Yeah.
If you're a student doing law, you cannot ignore about IT. You cannot ignore about agriculture. You cannot ignore about information about even medicine. Because what happens when a doctor approaches you
Yes.
to represent them? You
Yes.
need to have some information. So literally, AI is in every single industry.
Okay.
And a big chunk, people calling this the fourth, is it the fourth?
The fourth industrial revolution.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with it.
Yes.
Because the way it has come in unimaginable ways.
Right.
Who would think that a chatbot would sit a law exam and pass? This is happening in abroad.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
ChatGPT.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, you need to explain that, because I think those are the interesting that you call it a chatbot. Is it a chatbot or what? You called it what? That thing that can sit an exam. ChatGPT can actually sit a law exam and pass. So a computer, actually, basically.
And a human being goes and you have to,
Yeah. You need to read overnight. Yeah. So maybe that also raises other questions in terms of, then what exactly are you saying that AI is? If AI can sit an exam, can AI replace you, at your place of work as the cybersecurity prevent engineer? So if these guys found an AI robot, can it replace you and you're jobless or something like that? Tell us about that.
I'd want us to also shift our mindset from job replacement to job enhancement.
Okay.
Your work, you will never be replaced at your workplace.
Okay.
But you as an individual, you need to enhance your skills.
Okay.
Case in point. So even in cybersecurity, the tools that we use to mitigate the threats that are there every day.
Yeah.
With artificial intelligence, if you tell artificial intelligence, walk to the right.
Okay.
Even if there is fire or a blocker to the right, it won't sit down and go to the left. Like
Okay.
they are just straightforward.
Okay.
And then so it becomes hard to work in the cyberspace, because sometimes we have also things called false positives. Sometimes those solutions can raise an alarm and it's not an alarm.
Okay.
So if it would be AI handling it, then
Yes.
it will sometimes block things that are not supposed to be blocked within the cybersecurity space.
Okay.
And then also, humans cannot be be replaced because AI does not have emotions.
Okay.
So AI does not have any emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And if you're dealing with people, you need a level of emotional intelligence to connect with people.
Okay.
So that alone can never replace human beings. Another thing, AI is not creative. Because AI is using past data, historical data.
Okay.
So artificial intelligence cannot come with something new.
Okay.
So human beings, your creative mind, we still rely on your creative mind to come up with new ideas.
Okay.
So at no point will artificial intelligence ever replace human beings.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
and of course they have been telling us not to be so sure.
Because it's moving so fast, I guess.
Yeah, not to be
But
so sure.
just to add on what Melody has said, that is on point, Melody. If you look, the reason why I focus a lot on Psalms 139:14
Yeah.
is the way we are created. And I said a few minutes ago, it's all interconnected and you have to learn broadly.
Yeah.
The way we are created, the way our brain operates.
Yeah.
Brain generally has three layers.
Okay.
Reptilian layer,
Uh-huh.
the limbic layer, and then neocortex layer.
Yes.
A lot of decision making is happening in the neocortex layer.
Okay.
The limbic layer is where what Melody has said,
The emotional
exactly.
connections.
Yes. So artificial intelligence, it is largely on the neocortex,
Okay.
making decisions.
Yes.
But what triggers, there is a communication between the limbic and the neocortex
Yes.
and the reptilian.
Yes.
So that communication triggers events from the limbic. There are certain emotional state that triggers your creativity and your decision making.
Okay.
That link is missing on an artificial intelligence, but we can build something based on the neocortex layer.
Yeah.
So as a human being, you need to be confident that the God we serve
Yes.
across religion covered us. What happened from the people who were trying to build and reach the heaven? What happened? We started talking our own languages and we lost communication. So we can count on God that whenever artificial intelligence is headed that direction, he will do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are preparing for another Tower of Babel scenario where God will just come down and confuse the language. Yeah. So very, very interesting. I can see that Moses Okot, great topic. He's following Betty Minor, looking very beautiful. Melody, great topic. Melody, somebody is very happy and enjoying this. Gadoni Gidai, great topic. I'm learning. Say hi to Melody. That is CPOOG. She looks beautiful, wonderful. So that's good. That's good. Melody looks very beautiful. So I can confirm that she's not a bot. This is real Melody. I didn't import a bot to represent her. Actually, so I think I like that. People need to appreciate how complex our human brain is and how complex human intelligence is, and it has so many layers. It's not just the rational calculating brain. We have emotional, even more complex. Then we have the communication between that reptilian brain, the reactive brain, where if you see crawling insects, like women like running off when they see
Defense
crawling insects, so kind of something is triggered and you're ready to react anytime. Or if your baby is in danger, Melody is a mother here. So that complexity, AI has not reached there. We're not very sure what will happen, but we're not too worried because artificial intelligence, as far as we can tell, relies on existing data.
Yes.
So then that moves us to the other part of the conversation about data science. All right. So there is a growing discipline. Some of the people that are going into university or in academia right now, some of them are not too sure what to do with data science and what opportunities are there. I know that's something we want to touch on. So first of all, address this issue of AI being built on existing data, or rather draws from information that is already available, only that it's able to collect so much information. I think you need to explain that. Robert, we can start with you.
Thank you. I think I'll go back to my first statement when I said we are trying to address limitation of a human being.
Right.
And the limitation revolve around speed and accuracy.
Right.
We are still slower in doing either calculations or even making a decision. And
Right.
there's so many use cases. If you have a lot of, like, I've come to the studio today.
Yeah.
How do you know I'm not fraud?
Right.
You cannot answer that. How?
Yes.
What are the steps you will make to determine whether or not Robert Ayub is a fraudulent person?
Yes.
But that information will be important to the bank.
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to work to the bank. So if we remove AI, if we remove computing,
Yes.
assume you have one job, you've been looking for a job for the past 6 years,
Yeah.
you finally land in a bank. And
Yes.
the only one is to tell you, okay, we want you to identify this guy looks fraudulent, this guy does not look fraudulent, give him some money,
Yes.
or deny him, or reduce the credit.
Yes.
So how would you go about making such a decision? You'd probably handle one customer for 3 months because checking the background checks,
Yes.
where did this person sleep last night, what transactions did they do, has he ever been arrested with the police? So you look at all this data, and then after 3 months you say to come back to the bank, hey, this one, give him 3 million if he asked for 6 million.
Yes.
But now when you bring AI,
Yeah.
the same can be done in seconds.
Right.
But now, for the seconds, again, it's constrained with the information you collect about this person.
Yes.
Now, if we look at the biggest custodian of information in this country,
Yes.
it's the government.
Okay.
And then companies.
Yes.
So AI is going to do miracles to these companies and to the government,
Right.
as long as they adopt it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so data is primary because that is what helps us make decisions.
Okay.
And it also helps us be accurate.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. I like the way you've laid it out very clearly. It's that, data is primary. So, and I like your example. You want to borrow some money from the bank. You submit an application. They patch it into their system. They have some basic template, the old templates. I think the old or what do you call them, credit officers used to just look at your salary and there is more budget you are provided and your pay slip, and they can tell, yeah, this guy works for Kenya Power. Kenya Power will pay him. He's an engineer, so you can rely on him and all that. And they would make a decision based on a very general piece of information. But we're saying that now has become even more enhanced with AI. So that's why I think a lot of people, maybe they might be surprised that banks now are offering you credit so easily. It's because they can tell this person, based on their consumption, their data, their withdrawals and banking, they have the capacity. Is that the case? How is it affecting the cyberspace in terms of data? Do you now know more about customers and maybe even fraudulent people, or people who are likely to be fraudulent the minute you interact with data in the organization?
Absolutely. In the technology space, there's something more so in the financial sector. There's something called Know Your Customer.
Right.
So with Know Your Customer is basically you get the profile for an individual. If you have certain surnames,
yes,
you will be flagged.
Okay.
You will be termed as a political risk.
Okay.
Based on your surname. You see, again, that is based on data.
Right.
So assuming Mr. Malusi was a billionaire.
Right.
So if I go open an account, because of the name Malusi, my account will be flagged, will always have a flag.
Okay.
So, and again, if you've ever also been involved in any terrorist activities, you'll again be flagged and you won't be able to maybe open accounts in certain organizations. And even my transactions in my account, in my bank accounts, will always be on the watch list.
Okay.
Because I have been flagged. So yes, AI is it is really helping in knowing who is who and how do we handle you according to who you are.
Okay.
Yes.
That is so. It's both good news and bad news.
Yes.
Especially the idea of flagging. You know, I mean, I think that's quite something. All right.
Yeah.
Quite something. All right. So we're going to take a short break. So this conversation is getting just more interesting. And when we come back, we'll talk about the flagging business and send some warning to our viewers that, you know, if you misbehave now, the big eye is watching.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a short break. We'll come back to this conversation shortly. Keep it elevate. This is the Monday Morning Digest. Don't go away.
Nico Works Now Trust is a program that comes to you on Elevate TV every Friday at 7:30 p.m. In this program, we dwell into the journey of small and micro enterprises in the country.
Tulikuwa tunafulia watu manguo, wengine walikuwa wameandikwa house girls, lakini saa hii tumetoka hapo.
You can get the story from domestic workers to people handling 150,000 shillings per month. They're just 13 people. We look at the challenges that they're facing.
The city council will harass you for anything, whether you have documents or not. Roads, traffic, such things really affect us.
And we tap into the opportunities available in the sector.
Hiyo unit tulikuwa tunaambiwa tusikue employees, tujaribu tukue ma employers. So nikaamua naweza anzisha kakao kadogo mashinani.
So nikaona badala niuze gas pekee, nikaanza na vitabu kidogo, books za kuandika na stationery. Nikasoga hivyo, after some time nikaona I still can sell the textbooks.
Join me, Collins Otas, every Friday at 7:30 p.m. on Elevate TV and let us journey together in this show.
Welcome back. This is the Monday Morning Digest, and we are having an amazing conversation. We're talking about artificial intelligence, enemy, threat of enemy. I don't know what you think about artificial intelligence, but if you've been following this conversation, you know that AI is a very good friend, but you've got to master how to use it. All right, so you know, my guests here have amazing ideas. So so far we've learned a lot. There is a question here, and I want us to address this question from Moses Okoth. He's asking, how can we use AI in mission or church? So because artificial intelligence, you know, based on data, people's information that is available, I don't know how much information churches gather, hardly any, because, you know, if you give your offering in cash, unless maybe when you do through the M-Pesa systems and stuff like that, other than that, the churches register, maybe they register your babies and stuff like that. Anyway, but the question still applies. How do you use AI in missions? And maybe let's start from there. And you know, so that's a relevant question to this conversation. Before we go back to data science, yes, Melody.
Okay, so how do we use AI in missions? So artificial intelligence currently is being used in schools to grade students. And how AI is being used in schools, let me digress a bit. How AI is being used in schools is when teachers give assignments or when teachers allocate students or onboard students to the learning portals, AI is able to tell the students' strengths and the student weaknesses, then customize learning content based on the students' strengths and weaknesses. And teachers can use that report to now customize their learning or know how to handle the student. So now come to church. I believe we have, when you join a church, there are the details that you fill, which again just to note, churches, we need to be compliant with the Data Protection Act to ensure that we collect only data that is needed. But again, that data that is collected when you join the church, we can, for instance, we can use to know, so in my congregation, what is the age bracket?
Okay.
Then based on the age bracket, we can be able to, just like Ayub has shed light, we can be able to know what, because now, for instance, if your church has more elderly people, they don't need counseling on drugs. They don't need counseling on social media. Maybe they need to be taught how to invest. So if your artificial intelligence will again maybe curate for you programs on the best programs to the best mentorship programs.
Okay.
That you can take through your congregation or the larger percentage of your congregation.
Okay, okay.
So, yes.
Plus, of course, if you want to group certain people within the church in
Yes.
certain cohorts or groups, young people, mothers, grandmothers, and stuff like that. So I think if you have some bit of data, then that can be helpful, and the AI can help you in that.
Yes, and also to add, we can also be giving assessments, very simple assessments. Okay, assessments sound like exams and people shy away, but this assessment will also help to guide, or yes, to guide what are the needs of my church members, or what do my church members need. And also artificial intelligence is very important when you're planning to, for a mission, let's say in a foreign land that you've never been there, so you don't know about the weather, you don't know about the cultural people, the culture there. Artificial intelligence is going to, weather forecasting is artificial intelligence.
Actually.
Yes. So with AI, you'll be able to plan accordingly for your mission. If you're going in a rural area, you won't, for ladies, you're not going to put on trousers because AI has told you these people are very conservative, so you'll go with dresses. So AI is going to help us with making such decisions.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. And you know the way I like young people over-reliance on on Google. They always ask Google almost everything. I don't know, Robert, your experience with young people, you know, you guys are amazing. Yeah. So tell us about how have you, maybe you could give us your own example. What are some of the amazing ways you have used AI? I think that's a very interesting, you know, give us examples and some of the ways you hack life with AI.
There are quite many. Let me use what the viewer has asked as an example.
Yeah.
What Melody referred to as assessment, it's called survey.
Okay.
So when you do, as a church, you can do a survey, and based on what Melody said, Data Protection Act, you need to be specific about the data you're collecting, not to be in problems. So once you comply, that survey, the artificial intelligence need information that is anonymized. But what I mean is, it shouldn't lead you to the person who answered those questions.
Yes.
You cannot tell from the data who answered that question. So if you collect that kind of data, complying with Data Protection Act, then you can come up with amazing stuff for the purposes of serving your church members.
Okay.
Counseling, Melody has said that. Custom program. And you know, when you say custom programs, AI can just look at your behavior without you even giving information.
Okay.
We have the likes of the big guys using publicly available information that we give willingly whenever you go to Facebook, whenever you go to Google, whenever anything that you give publicly. That is how they develop and build things to serve you right.
Okay.
So for example, you're walking along Nairobi and you're hungry and you need to know which restaurant is near you. You can just, Google will tell you that.
Okay.
When you're lost, Google Maps. Identifying this place, Google Maps. Nowadays, if I have the money and my car is in good condition, I can decide I'm going to South Africa without fear of anything. And I just get into the car and I start driving.
Right.
So that is what AI has done in our lives.
Have you done such a trip?
There are so many. I did one just when one day, some years ago, I just decided let's go out, the whole family. And when I'm asked by my kids, where are we going? I don't know. And my son took Google Maps and said, okay, let's go discover.
Right.
So my son was the co-driver and I was the driver.
Okay.
We're using Google Maps. So these things are really, really exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Amazing, 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 amazing.
But before, there is something that we were supposed to, if you allow me, there's something we were supposed to talk about when we resumed. That was the flagging.
Yes.
Melody mentioned about the flagging.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
see,
yes.
One thing about AI, like I said earlier, it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
So when you look at human beings, I use the example of children.
Okay.
They all learn by themselves how to crawl.
Okay.
And then their environment, they start being shaped.
Okay.
So the first people in a child's life are very, very important, and apparently they're the parents.
Yes.
So the thinking of the parents, the behavior of the parents passes on,
automatically.
Exactly,
Yeah.
to the kids.
Yes.
So when you look at these kids who learned by themselves
Yes.
how to walk, 3 years later, some of them, they're thinking of gone faster, they're more analytical, some of them have retarded in their thinking, like they're slow growth, and based on exposure. So when you come to building AI, let me say you're doing an AI and the data you have is 18 and above.
Yes.
So you have a mix of all this.
Yes.
All this behavior, you have a very big mix. So in it, 18 and above, you have people who go to church who are very, very religious. In it, you have people who are only scheming on how to benefit from others people's sweat.
Yes.
Yeah, we call them thieves.
Yes.
Yeah. So in this data, a thief who wants to embrace AI can use that data.
Yes.
To just understand who can I recruit.
Okay.
As sad as even pedophiles.
Yes.
It's a very, very serious issue. Pedophiles, somebody embracing AI. So it's a double-edged sword. So when it comes to flagging, I want to introduce a very controversial topic of regulation.
Yes.
Yeah. So the data that you use introduces a lot of bias.
Yes.
That inflicts human rights, unfairness in the society, a lot of things.
Yes.
If this is not looked into, then you'll realize that some people are not being favored.
Yes.
So if you build AI that flags somebody based on their second name,
right,
you're introducing bias. And this AI, if it is well trained, it will be very good.
Right.
Very, very good, because it's AI.
Yes.
So you will have a model or AI that can do something, but when you look at another angle of fairness that is broader,
yes,
inclusivity, fairness, equal opportunity, your AI is actually doing more harm.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I think that needs to come clear, that how AI can be abused in the sense that you can actually build bias in an AI model. Okay. That now language is complicated language. There's such a thing as an AI model. You know, the whole idea that artificial intelligence in of itself is actually built. You know, that's something that is very puzzling. You know, people need to realize that you actually can build up. And is that through programming? I think you need to explain. How do you build an AI without going into the technical? Is that write a simple program? Is that building an AI?
Yes, just a simple program based on the data that you fed it.
Okay.
So if your data is biased, for example, if you, as an organization, you want to recruit people,
yes,
and you don't want to go through the hassle of reviewing CVs.
Okay.
But you're using your organization's employment history for your organization to recruit or to filter CVs.
Okay.
If your organization has had or has been having 88% has been male, the probability that it will only filter CVs that are male is higher, because it is going based on your organization. So again, the aspect of bias.
Okay.
So with AI, you really have to ensure that the data that you are inputting is of quality and is not biased.
Plus, of course, the the criteria that you build, that's the building. You know, like
Yes.
the filtering criteria that you build,
Yes.
that it is serving your interest and that it is not biased. Because if somebody actually discovered that you eliminated them for an interview because of their surname, they can actually raise issues with that, isn't it? And it's possible for the AI to do the tricks.
But Gigi, there's a gap in that because we do not have accountability for unfairness in the algorithms or in the artificial intelligence models.
Okay.
So who is going to take ownership for that?
Okay.
So with time, we should also come up with policies that ensure people are held accountable for any bias that is found in their models, artificial intelligence models.
Okay.
But as we stand now, people say, no, it's the computer. I am not the one who rejected you. So yes, that is also a venture to look, which again also brings me to, you know, we are so worried that AI is going to eliminate our jobs, but we've already seen a gap.
Okay.
We need to implement, we need to come up with policies, we need to ensure people are responsible. So you can decide, okay, fine, I am going to venture into coming into policy making for AI. That is a job.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
And that's the other thing. And Robert, actually, you can speak into this. And this is what we want to tell people that are afraid that AI is going to actually render them jobless. Every technology seems to always produce more opportunities than losses.
Yes.
And I think you need to explain that.
Yes. I think it's connected now to the courses.
Yes.
You had asked earlier how the AI is being built.
Yes.
And this is a skill that you're acquiring.
Yes.
And if you look at the subjects being taught in schools, most people think that you will skip math, statistics, and all this computer science and then go to data science and AI.
Yeah.
When you get to data science, you realize the math is needed.
Yep.
Yes.
You realize the statistics is needed.
Yes.
So to answer your question, building AI is based on algorithms.
Yes.
So the basic definition of an algorithm is a steps of instructions.
Okay.
A steps of instruction. If I was to leave this room
Yes.
and I'm a robot,
Yes.
what would I do? I would first stretch my legs,
Yes.
lift myself up,
Yes.
make a single step,
Yes.
turn left,
Yes.
lower to the second step,
Yes.
and then walk. When I get to the door,
Uh-huh.
I'll have to open the door
Yes.
and then pull my hand.
Yes.
I move it this way and I pull it,
Yes.
and then I walk out.
Yes.
All those, that is an algorithm.
Okay.
Now, the way these algorithms are built, we have statistics. Statistics is a way of getting information from a population
Yes.
in a way that you can make specific decisions about that population.
Okay.
So we normally do census where we know the population. So out of that census, we get information like the average height in Nairobi,
Yes.
the average number of goats in Turkana.
Yes.
So that information, certain businesses need that information.
Yes.
So that is statistics. So the way algorithms are built, it's a combination. We had so many learned people before us
Yes.
who built this algorithm, combining statistics, mathematics, and all those things, and wrapping it into a program.
Right.
So this is the program you use to build the model
Okay.
that has inbuilt capabilities of analyzing that data. So you take the algorithm, you mix it with data, it produces a model. And
Okay.
the model is used for prediction.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to courses now, that
Yeah.
is the courses and the steps,
Yes.
how AI is built. When it comes to courses, when you look at a position of a president, it's not by chance.
Yes.
It is by design. It is
Yeah.
an intentional position.
Yes.
Whether it is politically, it is intentional.
Yes.
And it is driving a certain agenda. And the decision was, I think we are the second country in Africa to integrate coding in our curriculum
Okay.
from primary school.
Yes.
So primary school kids are learning coding.
Right.
But there's a problem. There is a problem because most public schools don't have even electricity.
Right.
The infrastructure is limited. So what happens is the private schools will take advantage of this. And what happens to the society? The gap between the rich and the poor increases.
expands.
It's from primary.
Yeah, you know, surprising, I'll surprise you. Kenya Power and I think the government did a very major project, electrification of primary schools.
Yeah.
To your surprise, actually, they have connected so many primary schools, the ones that are connected are fewer, way fewer. I think probably 90 to almost 100% connection. So I think what might be missing is the computers, but the electricity is there.
That should be
yeah. So and there has been a very serious attempt at computerizing even public schools. However, as you say, there is always going to be that gap, and I think that's why we are having this conversation.
Absolutely.
Because even within well educated people, like the average, some of the people watching us, yes, AI is intimidating. I mean, I don't know what to do with AI, or even just understanding AI itself is in. So there's always going to be that knowledge gap, and that kind of how do you use that, but. And I like how you've laid out. Let's talk about the opportunities, especially in education, mentoring, coaching, some of the spaces where you are, Robert. You have, you have this. You mentioned at the beginning, you have an academy. So, so what are you doing with that? And what's your vision and mission in terms of training other people? Yeah, talk about that.
Okay, before I go to that, I'm actually a practicing data scientist, full-time employed 8 to 5.
Yes.
So as a co-founder of the academy, Kids Campus,
yes.
Kids Campus is an online academy,
yes,
teaching kids coding
and
analytics.
Yes.
So my vision with this
yes.
is initially I'm trying to balance law and IT and AI.
Okay.
I know at my position
yes.
that it is inevitable that the future is AI.
Okay.
And I also know two things, from a business perspective and also from a personal perspective. From a business perspective, there are three things that drive a business: the why, the how, and the what.
Yes.
So every single business, the why is their purpose. What are they driving?
Mm-hmm.
The how is how are they doing it, the systems.
Yes.
And the what is the output.
Yes, the products and stuff.
Yes. And on the other side, as a personal, at a personal level, Melody alluded to it, as
yes.
a personal level, you need to look at your personal growth.
Yes.
Because what AI is going to do,
mm-hmm.
AI is going to exist and replace or shift or disrupt
mm-hmm.
the how.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, if you are operating a business, you'd
yes.
want it to be efficient.
Yes.
And you'd also want it to impact your customers.
Yes.
So that your customers have more
Buy
value.
More. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It is less of the profit and more of the customer, because the customers will make references and it will grow. The more impact you give the customer, the better.
Okay.
So as an individual, you need to look at, in the disruption within the how,
yes.
how do I fit in?
Okay.
So if you are a laborer with a slasher, you're used to kazi kwa vijana, you take your slasher, you go get the job and you slash. It takes you like 4 hours.
Yes.
And then you hear somebody, a company that has won the tender with 2 lawnmowers.
Yes.
Yeah? A lawnmower is a machine.
Yes.
Now, the other day, I think it's KTDA.
Yes.
They deployed machines, and now one of the machine was burnt.
Right.
It has effect. So instead of looking at AI losing your job,
yes.
this is my advice. Think of the link between the why of the company and the how. AI would never link it. It needs a human being. The art, what Melody was saying, that's why we need to go back to the limbic brain.
Yeah.
So if what you're doing is basically the how, you're the kind of person who just goes to the office, wacha nifanye kazi yangu, and I move on.
Yes.
You are going to be disrupted.
Yes.
With the business.
Yes.
If you want your job, you need to think, where is the company going? Why are they going there? And then align. So that if the company brings AI, you will survive. Yeah? So I think what I am doing at a personal level is to nurture this mindset.
Okay. Okay.
And the kids, when they are born, they already have it. Let me tell you a story. As the co-founder of Kids Campus, once in a while I actually sit with these kids and I teach them.
Yes.
On Saturdays or Sundays, I teach them.
Yeah.
So I met a kid that was all over the place. talking to me on the seat. He's down, he's gone to the television, and what I was presenting on the screen was of no interest to him. But we were having a conversation. He's telling me about what he thinks about AI. So I decided, okay, now, to hell with this. I went and picked one slide, and I put it there. And I chilled until he settled. When he settled, he said, okay, is that the brain of AI? I had a face with a CPU, and there written AI. He figured out. That's when I realized that actually, all kids can be taught AI. You just need to give them attention.
Okay.
The kids are special.
Yes.
And before I wrap up, teenagers, there's a lot of disruptions. Teenagers, just like any other kid, they're special.
Yeah.
And they're special because there's a lot of attention. Everybody wants the attention of a teenager.
Right.
Everybody.
Yes.
If you look at Instagram, TikTok, everybody.
Yes.
So the learning that is coming outside there needs to be molded, needs to be guided. If you leave any child to learn by themselves,
yes,
online,
yes,
they will find some learning.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm going to cut you short because I want to hear from Melody on that. So basically what you've discovered is that, you know, you're very passionate about training kids to think in the new way. So to incorporate AI into their thinking, learning from models, ideas, and being able to pick these cues. In the cyberspace, you know, domain and the growing, again, maybe just you're probably going to repeat yourself a little bit here in terms of what, let me ask, are there opportunities? Are opportunities growing? Are you telling people that there is so much that needs to be done that you want everybody to become a cyber security? So talk about that, the opportunities, because that's your passion.
Okay, so there's definitely a lot of room for everyone and anyone in the cybersecurity space, but don't just rush to cybersecurity because you hear it's a hot thing. Sit down and ask yourself, what am I passionate about? Okay. Because we can use AI in things that we are passionate about. For instance, if you're passionate about farming, in the Western countries, most of the farms that plant wheat and so forth, they use AI, they use machinery to plant. Okay. So you see, as much as it's farming, you're using AI. There are organizations also that have used AI to know when I need to repair my machine. Okay. So if you're an engineer, you can also tap into developing or coming with applications that are going to tell you, okay, so this car needs a brake pad, because in the next 10 months, the brake pad is going to be worn out. Okay. So AI can, it can be used in any field, not only in cybersecurity. But in cybersecurity, we have threat intelligence. We have, even in the prevent space, the solutions that we use to mitigate the risk. Yes, it's AI. So AI is everywhere, and it's everyone is welcome.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. So wonderful, wonderful. Jane Carrier here saying, great discussion. Joyce Sidney is following this conversation. Great conversation, very informative. I think, of course, I think you've been able to lay out the territory, so people should not be afraid. There are many opportunities in AI. AI is not going to replace anyone. No. And in fact, it's probably just going to churn out more opportunity, or even make possibilities visible. Yes. And I will return to Robert, but very briefly, what are some of the opportunities that are obviously so openly now available, given that you're spreading yourself in every area, you're now studying law, data science, and all that. Just tell our viewers some of the opportunities that are sitting there waiting for people to rise up and take up.
I think analytics, because analytics is basically just having an analytical mind. Okay. Can you derive some insights from the information you have? Okay. And to build or to have an analytical mind, it's something that can be trained. Okay. So if you have that, it's a really, really good plus. If you don't have it, then you need to start the journey to have it. Okay. And the earlier you have it, the better. Kids are having it from age 6, age 7. So if you're in a campus or high school, do some what I would call self-retrospect.
Okay.
Just look at yourself, look at the courses. It is sad that the most valuable thing we have, teenagers are spending it on other things.
Okay.
So my advice would be to optimize the time you have, build a skill that is recent. There are so many skills: analytical skills, programming, cybersecurity, information science, mathematics. There are quite a lot. So just look at what is the top topics on Google.
Okay.
And try and align yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And I think that's very good advice. In other words, don't be left behind. As data becomes the most precious asset over time, and maybe perhaps Melody, you can speak to that. What data means, you know? I mean, the fact that organizations collect so much information, how can we leverage that information? And can, you know, are there opportunities there? Maybe you also need to mention that. In terms of, I don't know how much of that science you're in. Yeah, please. Okay, let's go back to the opportunity. Where do you see other opportunities in this particular domain of AI?
Wow, opportunities are just everywhere. It's hard to drill down, but even with the Mama Mboga, that's an opportunity with the data that she has. You can go ask her, Sonia, how many people come, at what time do they come to buy? So you can use that data to also open your shop, maybe next to her, or know what items to bring to complement to what she brings. So opportunities, we shouldn't be limited to just 8 to 5 jobs.
Okay.
Yes, we shouldn't be limited to just seeing opportunities that there in corporate, but even out here, we also have opportunities that we can use on data. And data is Melody. The fact that I came here, Elevate TV has my data already.
Yes.
So we can also use that data to maybe with my network to get other people who can speak on other topics, which can also maybe give Elevate TV more exposure, more visibility, and all that. So yes.
So good. So I think it's like,
and still on opportunity. Please allow me to give one input.
Yeah.
On opportunity, I know of a data scientist, a very senior data scientist in this country, who did a very basic analysis by collecting receipts from supermarkets, analyzing it, and coming with insights out of it.
yes.
So the reason why I've brought it up is opportunities. People don't go where opportunities are. Opportunities will find you where you are.
Yes.
So when a door comes knocking, like when your mom tells you, do you have this certification? Or even your uncle, do you have this certification? If you've been spending time, there's this word, dunda. It's a word that teenagers really resonate with. If that is what you've been spending time with,
yes,
opportunities will come and you will miss it.
Yes.
So opportunity is something you don't go look for. It will come.
Yes.
Just be prepared.
Yes. Wonderful. I like that. I like that. So in other words, and I like the fact that, Robert, you're very passionate on coaching and raising a generation of young people who can actually interact aggressively, who can actually position themselves in the new world of data, in the new world of artificial intelligence. And what you're saying is that you have to think analytically, you have to think data, you have to think how to leverage information. That's an amazing, and I'm so excited. So before we wrap this up, we're just about done. Please, if there's something else that you really wanted to say, I want you to prepare yourself in 30 seconds so that you can say it. So we'll start with you, Robert, as we wrap this up. What's the most important lesson you have learned so far in respect to AI?
Oh, okay. The most important lesson is AI learns just like human beings. And we make mistakes. AI also makes mistakes. And that mistake is in the data. So what we do, and as we generate the data, we train our models, and the models make some decisions on behalf of human beings, and then the human being approves or rejects that decision. So moving forward, there is need for a framework within which, of course, the Data Protection Act is doing quite a good job, But the transparency of the AI we build is going to be the next discussion. It's not going to be whether or not you build AI, but can you actually interpret and explain what your AI is doing? If you cannot explain it, then you need to be taken back to explain it before it's used.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So in other words, it's there are going to be challenges coming out of AI, and those are going to be linked with data protection, transparency, and what to do with information if it turns out information that is actually not correct must be rejected. Okay, that's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful insight. For you, the most important lesson you have learned with AI?
The most important lesson is, and this might sound harsh, adapt or die.
All right.
Yes, adapt or die. And I'd want you to research on there's this Japan company that built a bridge, but then it's like the river changed its course.
Yes.
So right now the bridge is
on land.
Yes, the bridge is on land.
Sitting on dry land.
Yes, sitting on dry land. So you ask yourself, do you want, because change is the new constant.
Yes.
And it's inevitable. So you decide, do you want to be that bridge that is sitting on dry land, or you want to be the water that is changing, or you want to be part of the, yes.
Changing course.
Yes. So adapt or die.
Okay. Wonderful. Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing insights here. Thank you so much, everyone that has been following this conversation. Gadoni Gedai, Sep Og, and other Moses Oko, thank you very much. Lezetti Closet, this is Whitney, says hi to Melody. I'm happy she is growing. Great topic. And Jenny Carey and all the other people that have been tuning in. Thank you very, very much indeed for staying tuned in and following this conversation. It's an amazing conversation. I am telling you, we can talk the whole day about AI, the lessons, the maneuvers, the opportunities. It's absolutely amazing and complex. So yes, there are opportunities. Please pay attention and give yourself to it. So I think that's all we can do today. We've run out of time, and thank you very much indeed, Robert, for being here, and Melody for coming and giving us amazing insights. I truly appreciate all of you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our show tonight, this morning. Have a great day. Monday Morning Digest. Keep it hooked to Elevate TV. We'll see you again another day, same time, same channel. God bless you. Bye for now.